And there we are. We are live. All right, folks. How you doing? I'm Manny Vitelli, host of Manny Vitelli's Wolfpack. And we are just getting this page and podcast going. So I'm honored, man, to have my brother on here to talk about some things that are important to him. So there's no better way to get this thing kicked off than with Jared Blaine. You guys know him and Brianna from Blacklist Podcast, but now more so, man, with him as his music. Please, as I said before, man, go to iTunes, hit him up. Hail Mary, you got to hear it. So, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, man?
Well,
Pre-
just another
yeah,
day.
I agree. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, are you kidding, man? This is an honor, man, to have this. It's how things go full circle, full circle, and here it was just seems like yesterday that you guys were here in Detroit and doing your whole thing with Larry and your red carpet, and
hmm
so goes from that
Speak,
now.
yeah. Speaking of Larry, did you? I know you guys were going to do something. Did you guys talk anymore?
No, I reached out and thoroughly expecting not to hear anything. You never know, but you try. So I did, and I can't remember what the time frame was, and all of a sudden I'm looking at Messenger, and there's a message from him. I'm like, yeah, right. And it just he goes, yeah, man, that sounds cool. Let's do it. And
Yeah, he's been doing some traveling. He just had he was in a Kevin Costner movie that just Horizon American Saga that just came out. So
yeah,
they had the red carpet premiere in LA for that, and so they've been pumping that real hard. So I'm assuming once that starts to settle down, him and we talk back and forth every now and then. We'll shoot each other texts back and forth, but he's a busy man. But once he settles down, I'm sure he'll be happy to do it.
oh,
It took me and him about 6 months before we were able to do it.
oh, definitely. That's why I was so surprised, man. It was like at first it was like, oh, this is bullshit. This really isn't him, and then back and forth. But yeah, you were just talking about that New Horizons, man. I love that shit. I love westerns and all that with Costner with
hmm
Yellowstone and with this one here they're doing. I didn't know that Larry was in it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's awesome, man. But yeah, so it was cool to get that little feedback, and again, thanks to you. And but other than that, man, I've just been trying to make one day at a time here with this back crap surgery fiasco that I'm dealing with. So
hmm
it's it's just so cool to reach out and talk to your family, your friends, and everybody. So that's why going back and forth, having a chance to talk to you, man, really. I mean, it sounds so cliche and bullshit, like it's just words. Oh, talking to you, your words really help, but they do. You just get your mind off of the pain that you're dealing with it, and just like in anything else. So I appreciate you taking time to shoot the shit with me every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But
Yeah, man, we all got to be here for each other. I
you
told you
got it.
when we first talked and we first met, and then we went to Detroit, and we got to link up, and at the end of the day, yeah, here we are, like you said, full circle, and now I'm on yours, and next month, well, actually, at the end of July, we're going to be in Detroit again. Uh, we're going to be at a concert that we are record. We had Damian Styles, is an independent. Uh, he does all kinds of music, hip hop, some rock and stuff. But we had him on the show last year, and I just read in the comments. Sorry, we had him
Oh
on the
yeah.
show. We had him on the show last year. Well, actually, this year, but back when his album was supposed to drop and
Uh
it
huh.
ended up not coming out, but he still came on, and and now his album's finally dropping, and so we're going to Detroit and we're gonna actually gonna do the interview in person, so we're all good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's freaking
So,
awesome, man. That's great.
and it took me about probably 10 or 11 months to for me to schedule with him, to be honest. He was probably, I think he's my longest one ever to get it scheduled.
And that was with what you said.
That's with Damian Styles. Yeah, he's he does a lot of, like, music with with anxiety and
Uh,
depression and a lot of stuff like that. So
okay.
yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good human being. Outside of the music, he's an awesome guy to talk to. I'm grateful for the friendship that we've built and whatnot. And yeah, we're just excited to go to Detroit and be able to, meet him face to face and be able to sit down and have an in person and a conversation with him and whatnot. So yeah, yeah.
Now that's gonna be cool as hell, man. And it's just so I've been telling people about you, and of course when they hear your name and Brianna's name, they right to Blacklist Podcast and just the incredible stuff that you guys both do, to help so many people in that way. But then again, like I tell people, we all have our lives, our personal lives too, and the people that don't know me and you except for doing this stuff. It's
Mm.
like, okay, Jared, Brianna from Blacklist, yeah, man, they got this incredible, support team and all that, and that's what they know, and that's what they see and on your shows and the posts, and it's just all great stuff. But it's like almost like tunnel vision. Well, yeah, that's all they do. That's all their life is, and there's so much more to all of us. And just like you with your music, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was joking around with everyone. I was telling my faithful OG Lynn about you, and when you first sent your song Hail Mary, and you sent that over, and I swear to God, I felt like one of those kid fans that like, oh my God, because here, you sent it over, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and I was busy at the time, I wasn't able to listen to it. I don't know where it was, so I was like, oh, okay, and then later on that night, I was like, oh shit, oh, okay, so I sit there and click on the music, and I was like, holy shit, man, it's like this. I mean, not that I expect it to be bad by any means, but I was like, man,
Yeah.
this guy is good. And not only do I was like, this guy good, but this guy's my brother, man. He's this guy's
Yeah.
family. So I let her. I go, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. And then I told her about my text that I sent you. I go, it's almost when you meet someone like that you're a fan of and you get starstruck and you're like, yeah, you're this composed host and all that. And then you meet them and you're like, hey, how you doing? It's like, hey man, how you doing? I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. You get all tongue tied. Well, that's how I felt when I sent that text. It was like, is this really you? I remember that text I said,
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
you with
You're
the
like, oh
singing
wow,
and
this is
stuff?
you.
Yeah, and it was just,
Oh shit!
and
Sorry, my
after
light just fell.
oh, it was like so funny because I felt like one of those people, man. It was like,
So I will tell you this. No, I did not sing the chord. The hook is not me.
uh-huh.
But of course, obviously, the verse and rapping and all that. Yes, that's me. The second verse
Sure.
is my cousin, my nephew. I'm sorry. So that's my nephew. He's a part of a pretty big hip hop group in Vancouver, Washington. So, but yes, I can't sing for shit. I will tell you that. uh, but yes, that was the producer that produced the beat. He's from the Netherlands, and he always does some amazing
Oh,
stuff. And so I was thoroughly satisfied with
oh
how it
man.
came out. I
It's
That's the first song that I've put out in years, multiple years. I've recorded, this and that. I mean, back in the day, I am 35 now, but back I started writing music when I was 14. I started playing shows by 16. I was touring by 18. Um, and yeah, that was my thing. Like I wanted to go. I was gonna, I went to school for audio production. Like I was gonna go to LA and I was gonna work at on a label and I was gonna do this and but I've always been a huge fan of all genres of music at the end of the day. I
mhm.
remember being 16 years old in high school. I was a drummer for a punk band, and then I was a hip hop artist, and we I
Well,
would
hey,
I would play shows where my band and I was one half I was one half of the duo in a hip hop group that I was a part of. So we both played shows. So I would be out on stage with a band playing drums, and then I'd go to wardrobe and I'd change, and then I'd come out and then I'd be on stage and I'd rap.
see that, and now, I mean, this was like you said years ago when all this was going on, and now you're seeing such a mixture of all the different musics coming together, man. Where before, like you said, it was rap, it
It
was
was one
country,
or
it was
the
hip hop,
other.
it was this, but now you're that's the thing. You're getting the mixture of like the country,
Hmm.
the rap, the southern rock, and the rap, and everything kind of coming together.
I mean, it's
Um,
not everybody's cup of tea, but
mm,
I
no,
my next the next record I'm working on right now, like the one I started recording a couple of days ago, that's a rock slash hip hop one. I got some. very talented artist that's going to be singing on the chorus, and I'm I'm doing the verses, and that one definitely like that. And that's just the thing. Like that's me. I put out a straight
That's
hip hop
cool.
one with Hail Mary, and now I'm gonna do a metalcore hip hop on another one, and it's just. But back in the day, oh, really quick, Brianna, if you want to know why I'm sitting in this beautiful office from my cell phone, um, our laptop's dead and it won't charge.
She's like,
So
what?
yeah, it's dead and it won't charge, and I could not get it so I had to come into the office. And like I said, told Manny before we started recording, we have a pretty big interview tonight that we're supposed to be doing with a recording artist, and we're gonna have to probably do it from the phones. So I because if I reschedule it, it's probably not gonna end up happening. So
You don't want to
it's
miss that, man. Yeah.
so anyways, I tried, and today just hasn't been a good day in general. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. But I seen Chad on here. What's up, Chad?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't want you to. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring anybody on here. I got OG here. Lynn is off screen right now. She's
Hi,
got
here,
all.
Lynn.
Yeah, she's off. She's looking. She's getting all the comments and stuff like that. So she's gonna jump in, and as far as stuff like that too,
What's
because
up,
with me,
Boston?
oh yeah, there he is. In fact, me and Boston been going back and forth. He's going to be coming on. He's got a little sabbatical
Nice.
going on right now. And,
Yeah.
I told him, I said, man, I'd really love to have you on the show. So, Boston, thank you, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been going back and forth and just through all these different connections. So, man, this is awesome. But, yeah, so I didn't want you to think I'm just sitting here, blowing people off because we got Lynn,
No, you're good.
taking care of all that.
I could hear her in the back.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I
Yeah.
mean,
But
yeah.
yeah. No, it's all
But
good. I can hear her.
no, but yeah, man. Then you got Chad, and I know, like I said, you guys, you know, I know we could touch on that if you want to later on. But like I said, for right now, man, I really want just to get people to familiar with what you got going on.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as you and your music. So you're going to be coming here, and you said that you're going to be doing. You'd like to be doing a show. Or I'm sorry, a song per month is like what your goal is to drop per month is what you're kind of shooting for.
Yeah. I really, because at the end of the day, I'm not I'm not a full-time musician. I'm not, I got a family and I got a full-time job, and then I run the podcast, and so at the end of the day, music is just something, maybe back in the day that was my goal, that was my passion. But music is still a very much big part of my life. It's just one of those things for me is I write, if I'm happy, I write. If I'm sad, I write. If I'm pissed, I write. And so, but I recently have had about 2 months before writing Hail Mary, I was like, for like a year, dude, a year and a half, I I had writer's block. I just could not write anything for the life of me. And so I was just wondering like what was going on. And I see it, Brianna. It's not the charger for the other thing. I that's why I didn't respond. Sorry. I just had to say that. She keeps saying the same thing. It's the chargers for the MacBooks. We have two chargers. I already charged it. But going back to what I'm saying though, I write, and that's just like my diary. That's my therapy. So I had writer's block. I could not write anything for the life of me. And one day, I don't know, it was weird. Just one day, I went through and I just threw on an instrumental and I wrote a full song. And I was like, holy crap. And then I just started writing again. And then I told Brianna, I was like, yo, I'm in this like writing mode right now. I might as well take advantage of it while I'm here. So
Oh,
that's what I
without a
did.
doubt.
So I started writing, and Hail Mary took about 2 months to write and record. Naturally, it would have been done a lot sooner, but because of my nephew, he's got to record his part, and of course
Sure.
he's in Washington. He's got to wait for the studio to do that and to send it back and send it to me. But I will tell you this, it came out way better than I expected. I'll be honest. I was kind of surprised myself with just being my first song that I've done in several years. I've
Mhm.
written songs, but I will record and I'll throw it in the trash. I'm very, very, very picky when it comes. I'll maybe rewrite a song 10, 15 times. I'll tell you this. I'll write it, I'll record, scratch it, do it again. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to what I write. So It paid off though. It really did pay off.
Oh,
It's gotten a
that's
little.
for sure.
It's doing well, and I was super excited about it. And now I'm super excited for this next one that I'm doing. The next one I'm doing is called "Here I Am,"
Okay.
and that one I should hopefully. I got the first verse already recorded. I did it yesterday, so hopefully I could throw some teasers out soon.
That's awesome, man. And you know what's funny, man, is listening to some of your stories. And when I'm talking to you, or whether I'm talking to other guests that are on the show, or I'm talking or watching other shows, and I'm listening to their stories, like I love music, but I definitely have nothing to do with singing and all that stuff. But what I do love to do, and what I used to do, and it sounded like your story, how you wrote all the time, wrote, and then you throw it away for out of nowhere. All of a sudden, one time I grabbed a pad of paper and I just started writing like poetry, and which is basically like lyrics. And so I'd sit there and I just someone would pop into my head, and I'd just start writing. And either it'd be something that maybe I saw, like I wrote one this time about 9/11. 9/11 hit. I just put pen to paper and wrote a poem about 9/11. And it was one of those things where I had a friend come over and also threw something away and looked in the garbage and saw piles of paper thrown away. And one of them was on top, and it wasn't all crinkled up, so she could see the writing. She goes, "What is this?" And she goes, "Where did you copy this from, or where did you find this?" And I was like, in my head. She goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, That's something I just love to do as a hobby, and I'd throw it away if I didn't like it or whatever." And she's like, "Man, this is good." And it was kind of like the same thing you're doing. And next thing you know, I get this thing from a publisher from New York. She actually sent in one of the ones for 9/11 to this contest, and I got published in Barnes and Nobles. And it was just out of the blue, but it sounded so weird about like same thing with you were talking about. You'd write something, and it was like, fuck it. You'd be like almost all the way done, and like there'd be like a sentence off, and you trash it. But
Mm.
yeah, so that's so cool, man.
It's
But
it's funny because like you said, people there when people hear our names, they direct it. Like when people hear like Brianna and I, it the Blacklist podcast is what goes straight to their minds.
oh yeah,
And that there's nothing wrong with that. Like we've built this for the last couple of years. We've built it to where it is. But now I'm like entering this new season in my life where now the music has came back, and so there's so much more to just than the podcast. Believe it or not, we're actually dialing back on the podcast, and we're actually, we're going to start. We're going to go live. Like we're doing now. We're going to do it
mm-hmm.
live instead of pre-record. There's just a lot that goes into it, but one for a couple of reasons. Music. My goal is like at least to record at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
If I can put out one a month, I would essentially like to do a song and video. Um, I'll be satisfied. It might
That'd be
take
awesome.
me, and then I kind of explained to you, and I can't really say too
Sure.
much.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
Chad and I, and we're building a team with Robin and Brianna and Swag, and I've talked to you, and
Mm-hmm.
we got something cooking, something big that's
Yeah.
going to happen, and we should hopefully within the next week or two be able to start announcing something. But that right there, that's a whole that when I'm talking about something, I'm talking about something where that is where that is where we can quit our day jobs eventually and dedicate our time and make a living doing that. So
Sure, that's awesome.
it's something huge. It's something that we seriously need when it comes into the recovery community.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I'm super excited for it. Like super excited. Chad and I have been
Yeah.
talking about it all day, every day, and we're just like, yeah, man, let's get it. So, but with that being said, we're going to dial in back on the podcast a little bit just so we can move forward to be
Mm-hmm.
able to start working into this new season of our life. I always told everybody when I started the podcast, I started it way before I met Brianna, and when I started it, it was never to be a long-term deal. Not that I'm quitting it and pulling it, but it was never meant to be a long-term deal. It was meant to help move us to the next level in what I had envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
And with when and even though I didn't fully envision what Chad and I has we're talking about coming up with, a lot of it did. You know, I did have something just and we just crossed paths for a reason. And so when we did, we're like, yo, all right, like we felt like the universe was literally telling us to work together on this. So that's why, like, and so I realized, like, man, everything that I built the podcast to do has led me to where we are about to walk into.
Sure,
Every
man.
connection that we've made, everything, and it gives us a leg up on everything already because we've already made certain connections within the podcast and recovery community. So it's going to help us. But yeah, everything we're getting ready to walk into this new season, and that's what I had envisioned when I started it,
Yeah, and see
and
that's
I'm excited, super excited for it.
and that's the thing too, man. Sometimes, like you said, people hear your name and Brianna's name, it's right to blacklist, and there's not, like you said, that's not a bad thing at all. But you know what? It's just like setting goals. That doesn't mean this is where your life stops. Okay, we made it to
Right.
blacklist. That's the end of it. So just like with me, because as soon as I started, with me with starting, Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, I mean, as your true friends and family jump out and hey, man, that's a great idea. You know what? Anything positive you can do is a good thing. So that was rolling. And then all of a sudden you start getting comments. Oh, you're trying to get more viewers, try this bullshit and stuff, and trying to do this. Oh, you just used my fight or war to get people. Then you're just going to dump it. And, it's like, no, that's not it at all. Also, like
Yeah.
for me, I mean, for you, obviously we have our own avenues that we are traveling, and you with your music and plus with everything else, that's great. For me, when I did this with my fight, then now opening up and getting the page for Wolfpack going, it's not to just ban the other or just whatever. It's to expand, and
Yeah.
open up more doors. Like I was telling you and stuff, people about this. It's not that I'm turning my back on anything. I'm opening up more doors because now there's no limitations on. We're going to discuss recovery and addiction, and that's it. I mean, that's what my fight's for. But with the Wolfpack, it's going to be like for this hanging out, talking to your friends, talking to your brothers, man, talking music, talking sports, talking entertainment, talking, anything, which is broadening, the horizons and opening up more eyes. So I got you, man. And I know that we chit chat a little bit and I can tell, just by the things that you talked about, beside, your music, this other stuff that's coming up, and
Yeah.
just your excitement and everything that you guys got building up and all that. Like I said, I don't know. I know just like what everyone else knows, but just hearing what this buildup is I can't wait to hear this. And just like everyone else, and knowing you guys and the intensity, it's going to be big, and I'm looking forward to it. And not
Yeah.
that you need a platform, but man, you guys ever want to shoot the shit about it? I'm always
Oh
here to
yeah.
throw this on. So anytime you want. So, but yeah,
Oh, you already
man,
know.
that's awesome that you
Yeah.
got that going on, and so that's cool, brother. That's
Yeah.
always that's good news. And
Yeah, no, it is. It is. We'll talk about it
sure.
once we get the okay. We'll talk about it. It's just something bigger than us out here. Um, but
It's funny.
going.
You're glowing. I mean, besides, you can see this happiness you got going on with all the stuff and your music and all that, but you can tell this intensity you got going on, man. It's cool as fuck
It
to
could it
see.
could be this giant ass light that's in my eyes.
Well, I was going, no, man, go with the glowing of the happiness.
All right, I'll go with the Chloe. No, but on the music side, I don't want to be put in a box though because just because I'm in recovery does not make me a recovery artist per
Mm-mm.
se. Per se, I want to be able to write about everything and anything, and that's what I like to do. So I don't want it to be where so if I put out, not that songs are going to be about freaking doing drugs, this, no, no, none of that. But I want to, but it's like with anything, and if your recovery and you put out something, people are like, oh well, what does that have to do with recovery? It's like,
Yeah.
no, like, no, listen, like, it's more than that. And I just don't want to be put in like this box, like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in recovery, but I'm not like, but not all of the music has to be strictly 12 steps, this, that, the
No.
third, blah, blah, blah. Like it's going to be real shit, real life, just real raw, uncut stuff. And that's what it is at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
And see, people too, man. That's what I try to get through all the time too, because I'll have a lot of people say sometimes, man, you get act a fool sometimes, and you don't take this serious. Fuck the hell, I don't. Don't you ever say that to me. You want to say that shit, come here and say it. Don't be saying it behind a keyboard. I take it
Mm-hmm.
very seriously. But you nailed it, man. I mean, if you put out some crazy headbanging shit, you get, oh, well, he's catering to the drinking drug crowd because of that intense. No, last I
Mm-hmm.
checked, people who don't drink and don't do drugs listen to some head slamming, just cranking music, man. And so I got you. And that's just like with the same thing that there's more to life than sitting there with these blinders saying, okay, today we're going to get up, we're going to discuss this part of recovery. This afternoon, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
discuss this part of recovery. What's the use being in recovery and sober if you don't live life? And if that
And
means going out getting crazy, get crazy.
I mean, let's be real for a second. And I don't know if this is how you feel, but I won't speak for everybody. But for me personally, I'll be real. Dude, sometimes talking about recovery all day, every day, 24/7 is it's draining. It's
Mm-hmm.
draining. It's tiring. Like we're constantly surrounded and talking about all the bad and this, that, and the third. And it's like, yo, I don't wow, like sometimes I want to break away from that. I want to have a conversation other than that. You know,
Yep.
again, like yes, my life is dedicated to helping, those who are lost and hopeless and hurting, but dude, I just don't always want to constantly talk about the negative side of in the recovery community. Like that's why that's why when we were doing Black Ash Radio, we were doing game nights. That's why we
Mm-hmm.
were doing game nights that were like aside out of recovery where we were playing games and we were laughing and we were joking around, and we said the main reason why we did that was we needed that mental break for the week. We needed to be able to just talk and laugh and have fun instead
Yeah.
of always being on the same fucking topic every single time.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, no,
yeah.
and see, that's just like, I don't know if you saw the other night, man. I agree 100% with you. And whether people agree or don't agree, I really don't give a shit, because I'm not here to please everyone. I'm here to please, to get myself on track and help whoever I can help. We all can't get on the same path and like this works for everybody. No, man. But like you were just saying, so that's why I started the Wolfpack. And now the other night, man, I'm sitting here, same thing. It wasn't about recovery. It was about just bullshit. It was open mic, let her rip. And that was it. And I'm like, okay, we were talking about stupid shit. I pulled up, just happened to see something about hiccups. I just said, what's the
Yeah.
longest someone had hiccups? And I was like, holy shit, it was 68 years this dude had hiccups. So we were joking about that. We were joking about other things. There was no recovery. That's not that means screw. No, it means you were living and having fun. So last night I'm talking about it a little bit, and I start running. My mouth gets ahead of my brain. So I'm like, okay. The other night, man, I'm talking about what's the longest anyone had hookups. I was like, oh, I meant hiccups, But then again,
Yeah.
what is the longest hookup? But yeah, but I got you. And again, I go back to people who think, oh, no, 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 you guys, it's got to be, this is serious. And we talk about this and only this. No, and that's just, people are, as you know, are not going to agree with everything everyone says. But I do agree with you that we got to this point. Let's enjoy it. I mean, God knows how long we're going to be here. I don't want to spend 24/7 focused on one subject, and no matter what it is. I mean, you need that outlet. So that's why I'm so
Absolutely.
pumped about your music. I mean, so
Yeah.
when people do hear Jared Blaine, it's it's going to be, oh yeah, man, they're helping with the podcast, and his music's fucking great, and him and Chad got this other thing going. It's just like all these different avenues instead of what's that? Oh, do you hear that?
What?
She just went on iTunes and got your music.
So on this, thank you so much. And being on the subject is go to iTunes, go to, Hail Mary, Jared Blaine. It supports 99 cents. it supports, an independent artist. Yeah, it's on Spotify. You could also go on Spotify, add it to your Spotify playlist. It's on YouTube. But if you really want to support, iTunes, not everyone has iTunes, and if you don't have iTunes, shoot over to Spotify. I would appreciate it very,
Yeah,
very
man.
much.
And it just I do the same thing. It's just like you here too. Yo, you know what, Jared, Brianna, you know what, Manny, we are here to support, support, support. And then you throw this in, people are like, oh yeah, I went to check out his music, and well, I got to pay, almost $1. It's like, oh, when you were shooting up, when you were drinking a fifth a day, you would have stole money to get that shit. Now you can't, so, but that's all cool
Yeah.
as hell. And then, talking about, and then I just want to jump on here real quick too, because I saw Boston's got a show
Mm.
going on Sundays at 6 p.m.
Sundays.
Eastern. So that's cool for you, but for Boston. So let's do a little shout out for that. And then, of course, you
Yep.
and Chad with all that stuff. But then, as far as back onto the music with Dylan, Dylan, I was on High Sobriety the other night with him and Alicia, and we were just talking, and he was asking about the Wolfpack and what it was going to be about. And I happened to mention you, and I go, yeah, man, I didn't know that you guys were. So here I'm thinking, yeah, I know Jared. It's like I'm like beat that bitch, And he's just like, and he's let me talk, and I go, yeah, man, you should hear his music and this. He goes, yeah, actually, we're doing some stuff together. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Dylan's become a good friend of mine. We
Cool
talk
as
all the
hell,
time. So
man. Nothing but
he's
great things to say about you.
he's just right on the other side of the border in Canada, in Niagara Falls. So we're just separated by the United States line. That's it.
Yeah, man. So, but it was so funny that here it's just like, just this huge world and how small it is. But then here I'm talking, I'm bragging about your music and shit, and trying to, I got one up on you, man. Yeah. He goes, yeah, me and him are going to be doing some songs together. It's like, ooh.
I got one with Dylan. It's called Dead to Me. And then I have one with, there's an artist, Fleetwood. He's another good friend of mine that came out. He used to be part of a secular group. He's got a video on YouTube, 44 million views. But he basically, he's a licensed clinical specialist. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much, and thank you, Robin, as well. But yeah, so him and his brother do music, and so him and I got a track that we're working on. I got one possibly with Willie K. Willie K is another artist recovery that's coming up. He's a good friend of mine. And then I got one with my brother Junior Carter, Element to Sun. So when I back up to when I was 14, 15, and I was part of the hip hop group, he was the other half of the group. So we're taking it old school now, because him and I, like, now that's full circle to him and I to have 20 years later pretty much had to do something together when we first were younger.
That is cool.
So I'm all about collaborations. That's where I'm at. Like, I really, I don't really care I could do my own music, and that's fine, but I'm all about collaborations. Like, I want to link up with other artists that are out there. I'm trying to get one with Matt Keegan right now. Him and I are back and forth talking. I'm trying to talk with Skylar Ray about some. So I got some shit that's getting ready to, that is going to come out, and fingers crossed. I'm hoping that I can, lock in some of these other artists that I'm not mentioning, because those are like a whole total game changer when it comes to the industry. I guess, I may not be like not a nobody, but I guess my ties to Blacklist Podcast has really helped me with some of these other people. Well, half of these artists I'm collaborating with, they've been on the show. So
exactly, man. And the thing is too, man, and it kind of carries over from what we do in recovery to the music, and what you're doing is a collaboration and all that, is because just like with all of us and the stuff that we've got going on and all the blessings and the positive things that have happened, yeah, we could sit there and deal with it and all on our own, and then do things on our own, or we could share it with people. And just like talking to you, talking to Dylan, talking to Chad, talking to Boston, talking to everyone else, and involving all these people. I mean, not only being, like a good and right thing to do, it's more fun. I mean, now you're getting all these different ideas that maybe you didn't even consider before. You got someone else pop up and say, hey, you know what, man, what about this? Great idea. Let's do it. Boom, done. Now you've got twice as many or three times as many, whatever it may be. And with you and your music, as you said, you've got so many different genres going on. And nowadays, why limit yourself? And especially
Yeah,
when you're good at it. So, I mean,
exactly.
that is, as the old OG sitting here always says, is win-win. And what everything you're doing right now is on that path. So I'm just I'm happy for you and everything that you got going on, man. That is just cool as hell. And it just you could just the music, and that was the first and only one that I heard, that Hail Mary. And if that's any indication of what's to come, all I can say is, man,
Yeah.
everyone hold on, because it's gonna be awesome. And
It-
so that's
I
cool.
just share it out, everybody. Just share it out, wherever, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Share it out. I'm actually going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be trying to record a couple promo reels for Hail Mary and whatnot. So you guys are probably going to get annoyed with me because I'm going to be pushing it really hard. But at the end of the day, when independent artists that have no label, that have no this, that have no that, like, it's strictly on you to do it, and that's it's dedication, like, just like how I put in that consistency and dedication into the podcast to get the guests that I've gotten. I'm going to do the same when it comes to the music, because that's the only way I'm going to get anywhere, is just by doing it, pushing it. I can't sit there and wait for something to fall in my lap.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And
plus
that,
I'm 35 years old. Like, I'm not going to do it forever. But I'm definitely going to take advantage of it and do it as long as I can.
yep, and that's the thing too, man. Talking like me and you, some of the conversations we had about doing podcasts, and how nowadays, if you've got a phone, you can have a podcast. If you have a sheet and a Sharpie, you can make a backdrop. I mean, anyone could do it, but it gets to the point: how much do you want to do it? Is this something you want to
Right.
be, some bullshit, or like me and you were talking when you were here? Is it a passion? And I think I told you, man, after I did that first show with Brad over at Sober's Cool and Dan and Don from Hard Knocks, it was just something clicked. It was like something so 100% and totally new to me. And it was like, I've never felt like this. And to actually do something, and then to get the positive feedback that I was getting at such an early state, and just to start learning from them, learning from you, learning from all these other people that I see, and just like a sponge to soak it all up. It's just like, okay, you talk a good game, you want this, just like you with your music, man. No one's, like you just said, no one's going to do it for you. So how bad do you really want it? Like you, I'm the same way, man. I've been annoying the fuck out of everyone for the last week or so. It's like, okay, I'm going to go on tomorrow. I'm on 4 more times that day. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna get
Yeah.
sick of me. You're gonna get sick of me. But you know what? If that's what it takes, then get sick of me, because the ones that we are hitting are the ones that are important. So
Absolutely.
that's all good, man. When you come to Detroit,
July 31st.
what area are you gonna be? What area in Detroit? Where are you gonna be? Do you, excuse
I
me.
don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look
Oh,
it up.
okay. Are you gonna? Is it like a weekend thing or?
No. It's the 31st is on a Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't. I don't.
So yeah, I'm basically gonna take Wednesday and Thursday off of work. We're gonna leave early Wednesday morning, shoot up to Detroit. Stay basically it's like the show is from, like, it's kind of like a smaller, it's his new album, so it's basically a listening party. It's like
Mhm.
75 to 100 tickets, so it's gonna be something small. And we're gonna record after, so the show ends at like 10, so we're
Oh.
gonna be we're gonna be out pretty late at doing that. But and then we'll basically stay the night and come back on Thursday.
Well, you talk about dedication and shit. You guys, I mean, not that we have to prove anything to anybody, but it goes in what you do, not what you say. And that's how I met you and Brianna, man.
Yeah.
I was already set to do your show, but it wasn't. It was like at a later date, and then we'll see, because with your guys' busy schedule. And then I happened to do that one reel, that one short, when I was in Detroit at the Heidelberg, and then all of a sudden you saw that, and you're like, hey, man, you're in Detroit. I'm going to be there with Brand. We're going to do that red carpet with Larry. And it was like, yeah, and that's not far from, and things just started clicking. You could have very easily just said, screw it, man. That's just another 8 to 10 hours out of our way. But so, yeah, man, I mean, that's cool as hell. And, that's going to be, just another open door. And
Yeah.
they keep opening, and even the ones that close, they close for a reason. And for a while there, when I first started doing this, I hit like a lull for like this kind of plateau for like 3-4 months or more, where like you with your writing, it was just like I didn't want to go on. I didn't want to do shit. It was just like, what the fuck? Why is going on here? Where it was just like, man, and it was like, no, you gotta push through it. And then all of a sudden things started to click, because I always said I don't want to put stuff out there just to put it out there, just to be seen. People see that and it's just like, you really don't give a shit what you're putting out. If it
Yeah.
really means as much to you as you want, they'd be like, you just, this song sounds like shit, but you know what? I'm gonna throw it out there. At least they can hear me. And it's like, no,
Mm.
because that's a reflection on you. And that's what I'm doing with, my fight or war and with the Wolfpack. I want it to be the best that it can be. And I want everyone in return to get the most out of it. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's the doors, like you said, it's all the doors opening. I had to take advantage of going to Detroit and doing this in person, for a few reasons. I always prefer to do interviews in person compared to streaming. That's just me, but naturally, that doesn't always work. But B, excuse me, we've been trying to get so I mean, I'm sure you guys. So Honest Ave, he does
Yeah.
the song, I'd rather overdose, and so I've been trying to get him for a while now. Of course, everybody, because once his shit went viral on TikTok, but Damien is doing something with him, and they're doing something together. And so the fact that Damien's a friend of ours, and we're gonna go there. We're gonna do it in person. That gets us one step closer to being able to link up with Ev, and so it's like doors just keep opening. So you got to just take advantage of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger people that we've had the opportunity of having on the show is because we were connected by a mutual friend or someone that's been on the show and they vouch for us, and that's why we get some of these big names that we get. And I'm grateful for it. I mean, I work pretty damn hard. It's like I tell you, I still got to work for it. It's not like so and so goes and says, "Hey, man, yeah, you guys should go on their show." And no, it ain't like that at all. I
No,
still,
no.
I still got to grind and work to get that person. But at least our name is put as a bug in their ear, so they know. So um, when I do reach out, they oh, you know what? I remember so and so had said something about it. I'll tell you this, I don't dick ride anybody. I never ask anybody to say, hey, um, can you ask them to be on my show? Nope.
No, man.
Nope, never.
No. Uh-uh.
I tell people I'll do all the legwork. Just drop the bug in their ear that I would be reaching out to them. If you could just let them know, be like, hey, you know what? My boy Jared from Blacklist Podcast is going
Mhm.
to be reaching out to you. That's all that I ask. I do everything else. I don't. And you know what? And I've had people try to do that to me. I've had them basically try to tell me like, "Hey, can you ask them to come on my show?" And I'm like, "No, man. Like,
No, 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 no.
I
And
don't." And
that's,
there's too many people that do that, unfortunately.
yep.
There's so many people, and I'm like, no, I bust my ass. So don't think just because you seen a big name on our show that it was just handed to me on a platter. I busted my ass to get that
Exactly.
person. It's all
See,
consistency and hard work.
yep, and be that person, man, and just keep going. And that's why sometimes people will say, "Well, man, you rattle off all these freaking names, you rattle off all these podcasts. It shows it's because I appreciate what they've done for me, man. And then, in fact, this all stems back. If I throw this in rewind to David Riggins,
Yes.
I was actually doing another show, and I got a text while I was doing it from Kat over at Silver Patrol. And she's like, Manny, I don't know if you've heard of David Riggins and what he's doing with Heel and his story, but I got him coming on. And, you got to come on and check this dude out. And that was it. And I finished my show. As soon as it ended, I was able to pop on theirs. And it was just this, instant we started chatting back and forth. And it was almost like me and him. And it was just cool as hell. So then afterwards, after the show, me and him kind of hooked up, started talking. I had him on the show the next day, And next thing you know, he's like, man, you would get along good with this person and that person. I go, well, I'll tell you what, I want to go anywhere and everywhere. So, feel free. He goes, do you mind if it was kind of like just the opposite. I'm going to let them know about you. And I said, let them know. And so that's how I got to know you and reached out to you was through David. And then the snowball effect just rolled from there. And, but you're right, though. It's not from, someone just sees like, oh, so-and-so was on your show, or I see that you talk to someone or you're going to have someone, can you put in, I mean, like you said, you want to put in a good word. And then another thing, I'm just starting out this game, man. And as Brad and Donna and all them said, and Dan is, you gotta be careful who you're aligning your name with, because what
Exactly.
you may think is, and like me and you talked about, I don't give a shit if you've got 50,000, 100,000 viewers or followers and all that compared to my 2,000. It doesn't matter. But like
Yeah.
Dan and they said, you connect with someone who's full of shit, who's basically a salesman talking a good game, who may be wanting to flip flop on you because they see something in you and you're reaching out to more people. And now you're all of a sudden connected with this dickhead on some show that, oh yeah, man. In fact, that happened. I was sitting there watching a video and I hear, yeah, I was watching this video with my very good friend, Manny Vitale. And I was like, who are you? And it was like, I've seen you on videos. I've seen it, but never talked to him and all that. But my very good friend. And I was like, so he could very easily flip flop, turn that around and say, hey, Jared, my good friend Manny sent me. So I hear you. I never thought that'd be an issue for me, but so I listen to everybody. I mean, that, I for all their opinions, like yours is golden and a lot of stuff, just the stuff that you've gone through. I'd listen to everybody. I may not take it. I might not agree with everything, but I'd listen. And I put it into my life, my podcast as well. And, but yeah, don't play us for fools, and especially what we've gone through. Like I said, spent my time with Detroit police, Detroit highwaymen. I'm alive because of seeing through bullshit and stuff. So just like you and everyone else, but then you meet people like you and Brianna, you and Boston, you and 2%, you and Chad, and the list goes on and on. So it's just, it's awesome, man.
No, it's good. I think we got a pretty good community as far as the inner circle of everybody. Again, I man, when I first started this, like I wanted to be with all the big wigs, and then I got into the circle of the big wigs, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I found a lot of people were fake, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not calling no names out, but there are some big names out that a lot of people look up to, and I just didn't want to be a part of it. And so I stopped. I took myself out, and I just started, linking myself with, people that I knew were authentic. And but yes, you got to be very careful in this.
Oh man,
very careful who you associate your name with. That all it takes is one person to basically crash and burn every single thing that you built.
Damn, you nailed it, man. And that's exactly what it was. And for me, I remember when I first started, any type of notoriety or publicity, I was just like, hell yeah, man. Well, do you want to be part of this? Yeah. And it was like, well, let's see. And then the first thing, like you even said, is what's the first thing people will do? They'll go over to the page. Oh, look at it. They got 60,000. They got 100,000. They got, and the thing is, I got two, according to and it doesn't matter. It matters who those 2,000 are. It matters who those 5,000 are. And it matters who the host is, like with you guys and stuff like that, who you connect with. And as you've nailed it before, the people that are
Everybody's
real and
on their
authentic.
they're all on follower count. Follower count don't mean shit. I mean, come on. I bet, and this isn't, and I'm just giving a pure example. This isn't to brag or nothing like that. We got 1,600 followers on Facebook. Okay. We probably got on all combined on all between YouTube, everything, I don't know, maybe 2,500 followers total between all the platforms. We do not have that many followers when it comes to numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, we've had on actors and celebrities and musicians and athletes and all that. And people ask, how the hell, how did you get so and so on your show? Did you have a marketing director or a booking agent? No, no, it's because they did not care to look and see that we didn't have 100,000 followers. It's just they saw how authentic we were,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's not about followers. Followers don't mean shit. I'm sorry,
Nope.
but it's consistency and authenticity. That's what it is. Okay, it's being honest, transparent with your followers. That's what it is at the end of the day. So, I don't have to worry about somebody. Now, I'm not saying that hasn't happened. I've been turned down from some social media influencers because we don't have a following like they do. But
Hmm.
if that's how your mentality is, I don't want to fucking work with you anyways.
No, no,
But
and
at the
that's
end of the day, like, nah, but people, they don't have to worry about us having these things. And I don't care. I grind on every video the same, whether we have one listen or we have 1,000 listens,
yep, I'm the
I
same
don't
way,
care.
and I don't give a shit, who your guests are. I mean, you might have, like you said, 150,000. You might have 10,000, and your guests are this. It doesn't matter how many you have. It matters who they are, and and then now you want to get in. I'll be on your show, but what are you gonna do for me? What? I'm going to give you the honor of being on the fucking show. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you be heard, on a platform. Well, then when you start talking that stuff, it's like, listen, I may be like the new guy in the show, but no, it's called pride, and it's called respect and morals and all that shit. And I dug myself out of stuff not to get in bed with a bunch of douchebags that you know think that you owe somebody something for your hard work. But no, so I
Right.
got you, man. And I was just, but I tell you what, when I first started and didn't know any better, that's what I went by. It's like, well, I guess I should follow them because they're obviously doing something right compared to this person who's got not even a quarter of the followers. Didn't take me long at all to figure it out. It's like, oh hell no, you
Right.
know. So mm-mm.
Yeah, and a lot of big people try to take advantage of us little people, by making us pay to have
ah,
these people on. And it's like, I'll tell you this, I ain't never had to pay to have a guest on. Not that I'm saying that I wouldn't, because I know I understand that some of them, yeah. But for you to come to me and be like, oh, you know what, like, you're I have 300,000 followers. You need to pay me $1,000 because it's going to help your viewership. I don't need your 300,000 followers to views. We got people that have 2-3 million followers that do it for free because out of the kindness of their own heart.
yep.
So don't let people take advantage of you just because you're a smaller platform. Like, oh well, I guess it's investing in yourself. No, fuck that. I'm sorry,
Mm-mm.
I ain't about to do that. I will tell you, there are some people that I would pay for, absolutely. But these are people that are like up there.
Oh yeah,
That's a
yeah. I mean,
whole different story. But people try to take advantage of me like that, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I
no.
don't need that. And then after that was done and over with, and I had conversations with other people, this person's name got brought up for the same shit, and it was just like, nope, stay away, don't come near.
And that's just it too. And what for me, what you see and what you perceive isn't what you get. And seeing stuff, when I started doing this and started watching videos, when I started watching podcasts, when I started watching live streams, I'd watch and I was like, man, these people are intense. They're all over it. There's no bullshit. It's not. And then all of a sudden you start to learn more about them on a personal side, and it's just like everything that you're talking, all the shit you're preaching and bullshit is just coming out one end and going right out the other because it's just full of shit. It's all show. It's all promotion. It's all
Yeah.
about it's got nothing to do with the platform or whatever it may be, whether it's music, whether it's recovery. All it's about is themselves and self promotion. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. If that's what you want and that's your goal, go for it, man. But
Mhm.
if you got to use deception and just being a freaking douchebag to get that point, I don't want any part of you. You know what? I want the people. I want you. I want I want high sobriety. I want Dan and Dan. I want all those other people to be able to have them on not only as guests but as friends, as brothers and sisters. Well, and Brianna's my broster, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Where you can get to know someone, and as we've said many times, they're real and they're authentic, and that's what'll make it or break it, and that's what I'm going to hold true to. Whether people want to all of a sudden turn my ass off, turn me off. You know what? It's just the way it is, and but it's all good, brother. I learned a lot from you guys, and the one thing is, don't ever paint yourself into a corner. So
Yeah.
and just like you with your music, just like you with all these other, these things that are going to be happening down the road. If you were just to be so narrow-minded and focused with the blinders on, why would you shut doors, that are partially open, that are going to open up so many opportunities? So,
Mm-hmm.
it's a wonderful opportunity in so many different ways. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And whatever it may hold, I'm going to attack 100%. And like I said, having you on is, this is just one of many. This is just the beginning. I'm looking forward to having you on and say, man, do you remember that time in the first, what is this, July? Are we in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
I remember that
almost
time.
July.
Yeah, remember we had Jared on and he dropped that Hail Mary. Can you believe that he's already dropped 30 fucking songs since then? And he's been here and here and here. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm
Hell
sure you
yeah.
are, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the mindset that I'm going to have, not only for you, but I have to have that for myself. I've had people say, "Oh, you're getting a little cocky and arrogant." No, this is the goals that I want to set. I don't want to sit here and say I want to be the best average host. I want to have the average show. No, man. I want to do all I can to blow it out of the freaking water with some of the best people around.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. Take it and take that fuel and burn it and just go for it.
yeah, man. And just like you, man, you're talking about burning shit. You got Damian Styles coming on at what time? 8:30?
No, we were supposed to have so Gifted Hands. He basically he had a song that went viral called Why Not Start. He was born with I don't know what disease it is, but basically he has like little nubs for hands.
Oh,
And
okay.
and that song went, and he is a talented artist for his condition and his disability and everything. I mean, this dude, he's from Virginia Beach. Amazing. This guy is awesome. I love his music. And so just the opportunity that we were able to have to be able to get him to have him on. It's like, oh shit. Like, yeah, so we're supposed to have him on tonight. Again, still trying to work that out. I pray to God I can get this shit situated.
Man,
Normally I don't ever let my MacBook die. And I was recording yesterday and I had it set up and I needed the damn power strip and I took it last night and I didn't go to plug it in until before we started this podcast. And it wouldn't charge up. I can't get it to turn on, nothing. Like it was like dead. So I'm hoping it's been on the charger this whole time. So I'm hoping once we're done, I walk out. I pray that I can get it on because like everything's on that. All my music is on that charger, everything. Luckily though, I do have a tech guy that works on all of my computers and stuff. So worst case scenario, I go drop it off to him tomorrow and hopefully he can figure it out.
Jeez, man. I don't know where the hell I got the wrong name, man. I thought
no, because we were because Damien is when we were going into.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah.
because I remember you had the show going and that stuff. Okay, that's where it was at. I mean, I know I'm losing it. It's like I know that name, man. I had it written down, but well, I tell you, you got a long night, man, and I hope that this thing works out for. The thing is, though, if it doesn't, you gotta use a phone. I mean, shit happens, and
I'll do it off. It's just, oh man, like
yeah,
the quality is just way different. I try not to put out shitty, quality. Like when we first started, off the phone. That's what it was. And then I've leveled up, and now we shoot on a 4K camera with multiple, with a whole sound setup and lighting and all that. And to be able to have to like do that big of an interview off the phone is just like, oh, fuck. I mean, it says an iPhone, so it is good quality. The camera's really good still, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell, looking at your picture compared to the camera I got, I mean, but then again, like you said, you're being, you know, what you're doing, and you, like you said, you want to push shit out there, and it doesn't matter who the guest is, but still, I get it. It's one of those things you can still do it, but it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we can. We could definitely still do it. Like that's not off the table. It's just the quality of it. But
Nah,
again, again, like I said,
hopefully it'll be up and running.
iPhone cameras aren't. But I'm praying. So anybody that prays, please pray that that fucking laptop is charged when I get out.
Well, let's see. Well, the IT guys gods that hate me so much, bring it on to me and leave Jared alone. And
Right?
and I tell you what, it's gonna be you're gonna pop that sucker on, and you're gonna be like, some bitch, it worked. So,
Yeah, I'm just hoping that it was just like so dead that it needed like a long time to get on.
yeah, hopefully that's all it is. But that's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be cool. And I know that with other stuff that you got going on too with your schedule, whatever you want to do, anything, man, obviously just hit me up. And I know that with you and with Chad and Shag and everything like that, if there's
Yeah.
anything you need, man, let me know. And but whatever you want to do, or like I said, when it comes to your music or anything, that's what I started this freaking other podcast for, was to all of a sudden, if you got something going on one day and you're like, hey, or you know somebody who wants to throw someone on there, but he can't find the right show or something like that, I'll be more than happy to let someone come on and speak their voice. And because, like I said, man, we all have a voice, and screw that. Where I've had this person say, "Well, so and so told me that mine wasn't important enough to be heard." Screw that. Who are you or
Yeah.
me or anyone else to say you're not important enough to be heard? We all have a voice. We are all more important enough to be heard at no matter what it is. So
Oh,
that's kind of
absolutely.
what I'm going to go with.
That's what. Yeah. I mean, I ask people to come on the show, and they tell me, "Oh, I don't have. I'm nothing compared to this guest," and I'm like, I don't care. I asked you. I don't care. You don't just listen. Just because we have a lot of influencers and a lot of people that have hundreds of thousands of followers does not mean that their story is any better than yours. Like I asked you for a reason to come on, and they're just surprised. Like, why are you asking me? Like, my name is not out there like these other people. No, because your story, everyone's got that story, and your story could be one that somebody needs to listen to, compared to someone that has a million followers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why we do it. Like, I don't discriminate. I don't care how many followers you got. At the end of the day, you got a story. I want to hear it. Let's do it. So, for anybody that is watching, if the Blacklist podcast, it's BLAKLIST. Go check us out on all social medias. The website, theblacklistpodcast.com. If anyone's interested in coming on the show, go to the contact form, go down, fill out an intake form. That'll email me, and we'll look at it and we'll get in touch. But at the end of the day, we're always looking for people to share their story on the show.
Oh, without a doubt. And I've had the exact same thing with certain people that have agreed. They're like, I want to come on. And they've been a little bit shy, a little bit apprehensive. And then they're like, I want to do it. And then, I had a couple of things lined up, and pretty much word for word, you just said, they're like, you know what? I don't have the same, mine's nothing compared. No. And someone can relate, maybe to exactly what you said compared to someone else's. So, yeah, I mean, I said the exact same thing, because everyone, could take a little bit of something different away from the same story. And
Yeah.
so, that's the same, the same way that I completely feel 100% the same, that, it doesn't matter if you're a CEO, if you're scrubbing toilets. I don't care if you got $1 million, if you got $5. Your
Mm-hmm.
story, like you said, can save lives and make a difference. And like, the guy, Brad, it was Sober School, and Dan and Donna, they always say, be that. It also takes this one person to change your life. And I'll never forget that. And I always keep that in my mind, that, I want now, all the help that I've gotten from people, I want, now I want to be part of that be that one person that can get that ball rolling to help other people.
Hmm.
So man, it's just that's one thing that I really respect about you and Brianna right from the get go was the authenticity of it. Being freaking real, not sitting there, you know, looking at people who maybe don't have the quality or not quality. That's the wrong word. The guest
Hmm.
with the background that you guys have had to look at all of us a certain way or differently. No, man. I mean, you put your pants on the same way as we do. We're people, and we're here. The bottom line is to help each other. Doesn't care what your
Absolutely.
financial status is. So,
Yep,
but
I agree.
but I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more of your music. And now that
Yeah.
like with you and Dylan and you and everyone else, your nephew and all the different collaborations and the different stuff that you're going with, like you said, with you going from hip hop, you're going to to heavy metal to everything else in between, and just hearing you mix all that together, I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
hearing that, man. So
Oh,
let's
absolutely. I appreciate
it,
it.
it's gonna be a hell of a ride.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, that's like, I took a chance with my nephew. I was thoroughly happy with it. You know, he's not. The difference is he's not an addict, but he's also not in recovery. And
Mhm.
you know, he smokes weed, and I got no problem with somebody smoking weed. In my opinion, if that's keeps you off from doing anything crazy, be my guest. But I know I've gotten some comments, about it, like, why'd you do a song with somebody who it's like, bro, and that's where I go back to the whole recovery thing. Like, don't put me in a box that way. He doesn't do fucking hard drugs, and he's not out there pushing that shit. It's like, and so but yeah, I took a chance with doing it with him, and I was happy with it. I was happy the way that it came out. We're definitely going to do another one together. And it meant a lot to my sister. My sister it meant a lot for for me to do it with her child. So
Well, and the bottom line is it doesn't matter what I think or anyone else thinks. At the end of the day, all that matters is how it makes you feel. And like I tell people, if I can look in the mirror with a clear conscience, which is something that I've never been able to do before, and I didn't give a shit, but now it's totally different. And so
yeah.
yeah, now a lot of things I do for me, and because it'll be the best. But at the same time, I totally look at things differently. Where in the past, I didn't give a shit if it helped anyone or didn't help anyone. Now, the
Hmm.
things that I do, I think about it. Well, if I do this, it's going to be cool. But if I do it a little bit differently, I can help so many more people. In the past, I never thought of that. It's like, holy shit! I guess this change in and thinking and all that is such a positive thing. And it's just as OG says, it's a win-win. So, but
Hmm.
uh, but uh,
Absolutely.
and I know you got a shit ton of stuff you got going on, man. So I mean, you got anything else you want to throw out there as far as what we need to know or want to promote as far as your music or anything about anything that we need to kind of keep an eye out for?
Just go follow me on Facebook. Jared Blaine Quijada. Unfortunately, I got to have my last name on there because of verification. But on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I go by Jared Blaine Music, Muzik. Go follow me. Go support, please.
Mm-hmm.
Again, go download Hail Mary either on Spotify, add it on Spotify or iTunes, and just keep an eye out for this organization that we're creating with, that Chad and I are working on. Keep an eye on that. Um, and yeah, I mean, that's it, man. I guess. Oh, and then, of course, the podcast is just, we're still dropping episodes every week right now. I'm trying the best I can to get them pumped out, but that's about it. Go check out the website, theblacklistpodcast.com, and yeah, I think that's it.
That's that sounds awesome, man. I tell you what, I love you, brother, and I appreciate you taking the time with your schedule to pop on here. And as I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, is this is an open avenue for you, Brianna. Anytime you want, man, to share anything at all you got to do is
Yeah,
hit me up. I don't care if
yeah,
it's the all of a spur of the moment, man. Hey, listen, you want to do this? If I got nothing going on, we're going on. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
love to do it. Anything I can do in any way to
Mm.
help and support you guys, I'm all in.
And I promise Manny's episode will be out. We had Manny on, and his episode will be out. I promise. We're trying to work on it. So
That sounds great. Well, I look forward to it, man. And like I said, please check out his music. Check out Hail Mary. Go to iTunes. You could do all the other stuff as well. You know what? If you're gonna, put your money where your mouth is, literally, and go and support.
99 cents.
99 cents, people. 99 cents. So
That's less than a coffee.
there you go. So I love you, brother. I hope you got, and you know what? Setting good vibes to this laptop. It is
Yes,
gonna work.
please.
It's gonna work.
Yes.
It's gonna work. So shoot me a text when this thing goes amazing for you and it's working.
I
Thumbs
will.
up. And but other than that, man, it's been great, and I look forward to chit chat with you soon.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me on. Thank you for people in the comments. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I'm grateful. So love you guys.
All right, man. You take care, brother.
All right, guys.
All right, you take care.
You too.
Well, there you got it. There you had it. There he was, Jared. Jared Blaine, and the man, the myth, the legend that goes from him and Brianna with Blacklist Podcast, and Jared Blaine, the musician, with Hail Mary. Check them out at iTunes. Support local artists who are busting their asses to do this stuff on their own. And and again, see Boston 2% there with his show. Check him out, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. And right now we've been going back and forth. Boston, I do apologize for not getting back with you. It's been kind of hectic with dealing with these doctor appointments and stuff like that, and just whatever. But you know what? No excuses. But Boston, I appreciate you reaching out and everything that you're doing, helping the people that you are helping. So really look forward to hooking up with you, brother. And to everyone else that Karen, I'm just going to do a quick little back up here. Carol, Kelly, please, I don't want you guys, Brad, Robin, my cousin Tony, let's see, Diana. I'm just throwing it in reverse here, trying to get people. Trisha, to everyone, Ty, Sheila, to everyone that chimed in, who checked out the show tonight, to anyone who left a comment, thank you so much. And you guys know me, man. I got the attention span of a freaking doorknob, and I get very intense when it comes to talking and guests and stuff like that. So I'm not looking off to the right. I'm not sitting there trying to read the comments, because while I'm engaging with whoever I'm talking to, and that's no disrespect towards you guys with the comments, because here I am telling you guys, be part of this, and you are. Trust me, because OG here's off camera, and she's been taking care of all that. So OG, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. As far as responding, if there's stuff that I need to reply to, she's got it all right here, and we discuss it after the shows. If I need to connect with somebody, I will. I promise you. But again, this. Let's see, I'm trying to think.
Congratulations to Boston on the 2,000 copies of his Meth Bible sold.
Oh, wait a minute, I missed that.
Yeah.
What was it? 2% did what? What is it?
It's just past.
Oh, here it is right here.
Yeah.
Boston 2%. We just passed 2,000 units sold of the Meth Bible in 9 countries. No advertising, no, but man, I tell you what, I apologize. I did not see that as they were going by. I did miss that. I was, I saw that your show at 6:00, so I was like, aha, I did forget that. But that is amazing, and that's what I mean. Here we've got this amazing, talk about a collaboration, like Jared was saying. It just seemed, it's still so freaky for me to be saying this stuff. To be, I feel so honored to be in this conversation, and not as someone who's just making little comments, to be in this circle with these amazing people. And And more than that is, when I sit there and you guys hear me all the time say how much you guys mean to me. And some of you people might think it's just you people. I hate fucking saying you people.
No.
That sounded rude as shit, didn't it? You people. You people. You people. So, you know what? Yeah, hey, you know what? You never know what you're going to get when you turn on Manny Vitale and you see live. Just hold on, because I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. All I know is it's going to be real. It's going to be authentic. It's going to come from the heart. And, you know, that's all I can say about that. But what I meant to say is seeing the comments, seeing the response, that it's just overwhelming. Just seeing that, what we are doing is making a difference, and people are replying and responding and reaching out. And OG is flagging me down.
Yeah, somebody wants to know how to get the Bible. Well, Tricia wants to know how she can get a hold of the Bible.
You know what? Reach out to Boston 2%, because I don't have that information. Trisha wants to know. Trish, I don't have that information, but please reach out to Boston 2%. Go to his page, because the last thing I want to do is screw up anyone's information on something as important as that. But you talk about, people talk about intensity, with all of us in our different shows and what we all bring to our individual shows. You want to talk about intensity? That man, the intensity and passion that he has, just like everyone else, I am not taking anything away from anyone when I do comment about a person. But you know what? When someone is doing something so positive and uplifting, and they need it, I feel that it needs to be talked about. As I've said many times, that people have no freaking problem bad mouthing people, slamming people, stepping on them when they're down, pushing them down when they're halfway up because of being weak or whatever it may be. It's real easy to, be the tough guy and slam people during negativity and rough times. But you know what? Be that person that, instead of pushing that person down, when you led that hand, pull them up. You know what? That's why we're here. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I say that because that was me. I was the freaking problem. And by the grace of God, I'm still here. And I'm doing everything I can to be the best person I can be. Do I make mistakes every time? Every day I wake up, I make mistakes, but I try to learn from them. And that's a difference between now and in the past. Now I care. It bothers me. In the past, I could give a shit if I hurt myself, if I hurt people that I cared about. It didn't matter. And that's a sad thing to say. But now, like I've said, it feels good to fight the right reasons, or fight the good fight for the right reasons, instead of fighting any fight for any reasons, and usually the wrong reasons. And that's the point where I'm at now. And again, Jared brought up a few things about him and Brianna and Blacklist podcast, and things that they're doing. And it's not that they're just shunning Blacklist and it's like, okay, I got what I got out of that. No, that's not it at all. But just like as for me, I got some of the same little chatter about starting Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. It's like, instead of that's great. And I have had people who understand why I'm doing it. They're like, that's a great idea. Instead of being so focused, just like Jared, when we were discussing recovery and addiction. I mean, yeah, we can talk about that 24/7. We could talk about cooking 24/7. We could talk about crocheting 24/7. We could talk about anything and everything if that's the case. Okay, well, this is what's important to me, and this is all we discuss because this is my safe zone. Well, all right, that's your choice. For me, I'm alive by the grace of God. I'm alive after the numerous things I had. 40 some surgeries, God knows how many replacements. And I mean, 2 weeks ago today, what is today, Saturday? 2 weeks ago today, they were going to rush me back up to surgery because I started internal bleeding. So 2 weeks ago today, they said there's a chance that if they couldn't get this under control, that I could have died right there on the table. So here I am 2 weeks later talking to you guys. Um, so you know what, as far as these goals that I'm setting for myself, and that's something we should all do. I mean, it's not something by setting goals that, oh, you're arrogant, you're going to do this. We all should set goals to be the best we could be. But you hear people also say, well, don't set yourself up for failure. Yeah, I get it. And again, as far as myself, I will listen to what everyone has to say as far as their comments. Doesn't mean I'm going to do what they say. I will listen to it. And some of it, I'll be like, you know what? That's a great idea. And I can add that somewhat into what I'm doing in some content. And some of it, I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, oh, okay. And afterwards, fuck no. I mean, no, not a chance. I am not going to do that or have any part of that whatsoever. But the thing is, their ideas and their opinions, and there's things that if you look at, you might not agree with it 100%, but if you take 50%, 20% of that and put it in with your thoughts and ideas, you might have one hell of something that you can come up with to make the show better, to make the content better, to make, so when Jared was saying you guys are going to get annoyed with me, it was funny because some of the chatter we were having back and forth, it was almost like I was talking to myself, because I said the same thing to you guys. It's like, you guys are going to be so sick of me. I mean, it's pretty bad today. What's that damn thing? Gimbal stick. I go, my gimbal stick and phone were even like, oh, fuck. No. It's like, it was like, everybody was like, he's on again. How do we do this? Okay. IT gods, make his gimbal stick in the phone go haywire. That was funny as shit. I'm sitting there. I'm just, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm back again. What the hell? I'm upside down. I'm sideways. I'm backways. And, some people that I talked to, they're like, well, didn't that bother you? Well, as you could tell how much it bothered me, I was laughing my ass off. And I came right back with, and that's why I go live. Because when stuff like that happens, it's funny. You know what? It's freaking funny. And maybe someone was having a shit day and they saw me all of a sudden upside down and backways and every which way. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know what? We're human. We have fun. And OG here on the sideline, again, I could sit here and do another hour on some of the stuff that she says and does that I mean, my doctors look at me with that, what did you do? Or are you nuts kind of look? That's how I look at her, because some of the things, just like the other day when we were talking food and we're just talking a conversation, normal talk, just like this, until it got to keyword chicken cordon bleu, which I just found out that you have to say, did you ever have chicken cordon bleu? And I thought it was a joke at first. I'm looking at her like, I'm waiting for her to start laughing, and she's leaning over, and she was kind of like, chicken cordon bleu. It was like, is that a code word for like, the feds are about to raid this place? Chicken cordon bleu. Shoot the moon. I mean, for all you Cheech and Chong folks. So I mean, just stuff like that. It's fun, man. And just talking about our poor guy Charlie Osborne.
Yes.
With 68 years with hiccups. What else was there? Just stupid shit that just fun. Not even stupid. That's the wrong word. You just funny, uplifting, funny, silly. So we could sit there and just have a conversation and just laugh a little bit and enjoy the fact that we're sober. And it doesn't even have to be anything regarding recovery. Just enjoy that. You know what? It's Saturday. And now we're alive. I'm sitting in the studio with OG, Susie the Wonder Dog biting on my feet and pulling it's like, even it's pretty bad when with the Wonder Dog is like pulling on my headset, like, just shut up. These people don't want to hear you. And then when that doesn't work, I look at the camera and my monitor's going like this. I'm like, what the hell? And I look underneath, and Susie's got a hold of the wires from the camera. And she's like, I told you to shut up. So, anyways, I'm going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing. As far as my plans, as far as my fight or war, we're not going anywhere. So I know certain comments and things about, the Wolfpack podcast. Well, you're going to put more into that than you are into this. It's like, it has nothing to do with putting more or less into one or the other. I am putting the same passion and intensity and love into both. And not only that, but in anything that I'm going to do. I mean, who says this is the only thing I'm going to do as far as podcast? I might start another page. I might start another show. I mean, we got Garage Talk. What's Garage Talk? Well, I sit in the garage and talk. It's like, how does he come up with this amazing stuff? Well, I'm sure that's not what you said. I don't know. Everyone probably left as soon as Jared left. Is anyone still around? It's Trisha. I'm not sure if Boston's still around, but Boston, again, that the 2000 mark on your book, man, that, you know what, everyone, if that's not inspiring, then I don't know what it is. What is, I'm sorry. Please check it out. And, what's, some people might, well, you know what, that's not quite for me. You know what, we're not for everybody. You know what, it takes, but, we're for somebody. And all I'm saying is give us a chance. Just give us a chance. That's all. You may not, you may, tell someone about my fight or war. You may tell someone about, me, my story, and what I'm doing. You may tell them about the Wolfpack, and, by the grace of God, and I'm so grateful that you might be enjoying what you're seeing, and tell somebody, and then in turn they watch it and they're like, that's an hour of my life I will never get back. And they might not be for them at all. And you know what? That's fine. That is totally fine. So Trisha is still there. What do we got? I'm so excited to get. I heard about it. I'll never go back.
One day at a time.
You know what, Trisha? That's it. And that's that. Trisha, is it Trisha or Trish? Trisha. And that's it's one day at a time, one step at a time. And people sometimes get a little discouraged, or they'll, get down on themselves about, it's like, you know what? Look where you are right now, right this moment. Look where you're at compared to where you were, 5 years ago, a year ago, a week ago, and sometimes, a couple days ago, for wherever we may be. And I'm not even talking recovery with addiction, just, people with issues in general. It could be mental health issues. It doesn't have to be drug related or alcohol related. It doesn't even have to be mental health related. We all have problems and things that arise in our lives. You don't have to have a diagnosis. I almost freaking did that. Son of a bitch. I did do it. Oh, don't even. And I can't do that on camera right now because, but yeah, that whole, I hate this. This right here, when people go, air what?
Air quotes.
Well, air quotes should die an evil death. That's what I think of air quotes. As I'm sitting here, I couldn't stop the other time. That was in Garage Talk. We were sitting there, and for some reason, I said something, and I actually did that. And I remember looking at the camera, and I looked over it. I was like, I hate that. And then that's another thing we could discuss on the Wolfpack is things that piss you off. That'll be a good segue. Like I told my cousin Rachel one time at work, something came up and someone said something to me and they said, "Oh, Manny, just a FYI." Then I just looked at him and my cousin was like, after they left, they're like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, why? They're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, what? She goes, as soon as this person said, Manny, I'm just going to give you just an FYI. She goes, it looked like you wanted to kill them. I'm like, oh, I did. I wanted to kill them because, it just drives me nuts. And she's like, why? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm Manny. That's why, because it doesn't have to make sense when it comes to me, because just imagine if they went, oh, Manny, just an FYI. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. So for garage
Things that
talk,
piss you off.
things that
Irritates you.
things that irritate you. Yeah, you know what, Trisha and yeah, and whoever else. It's so funny watching like viewers. It's just like 27 to -4. I mean, not only are people stop watching, they're talking other people into don't watch, don't go on, But you know what? Just for like doing stuff as far as the garage talk, which I still want to do once once it comes up again. And Trisha, and for anyone else who probably have no freaking clue what I'm talking about, is I was going to go live again when I got home from work. It was a Saturday at 6 o'clock. I get off work, so by the time I got home, I told OG, I said, "Let's go on," and just bullshit. We'll just chit chat. And I go, I'm working late, or I'm working till 6, and it was a hot day. And I remember I was on my Harley, got home, got in the garage, got off the bike, did everything, and I sat down on the chair next to the bike. And I was just like, shit, I'm hot. I had undid, or I got the water out of my saddlebags, and I'm sitting there. And I go, now I got to go upstairs, get the studio. And I was like, So I grabbed my phone, and my garage door was open. And there's a shelving unit where I have my stuff to clean my Harley and all that stuff. And there was a bottle. So I took my phone and I propped it up. But the problem is, people, when they were walking by, could see in and they could see me, but they couldn't see my phone because it was behind this bottle with a rag over it. So here I am just talking away, and OG wasn't here. She was at her house doing stuff. So I was just me and my bike in my garage as I'm sitting there talking and laughing and carrying on. And these people are walking by and they're kind of looking at me, and I'm waving to them. They're waving, and I'm just going on and on. And I could see them slowing down and kind of just staring at me. And I was like, "What are they staring at?" And then I realized they're seeing me sitting next to my Harley, staring at a shelving unit and talking to a shelving unit, and just go. And you know what? I started laughing even more. And it was just like, this is great. So I'm like, you know what? This is garage talk. And we started doing it. And the one time we had a shitload of people come on, and it was just like, this is great. And a couple shows after that. And then all of a sudden it was just like two. And then it was just me and OG. It was like, all right, well. But you know what? Again, a big shout out and a thank you to Jared for coming on the Wolfpack and sharing his story about him and his music and upcoming stuff that he's got going on. Again, please check him out on iTunes with Hail Mary, his the song that he just dropped, and upcoming music that he's going to be doing as well. And then, of course, with him and Brianna with Blacklist Podcast, and Facebook and everything else that he's got going on as well. So please check him out. This coming week, we've got some exciting things happening next weekend. Was it Friday? The Friday is the show. Next Friday, or I'm sorry, this Friday coming up, we're heading out to Connecticut. I was invited to be a guest on Ian Beck's show, and so flying out Friday. We're going to be on the show Saturday and flying back Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to that. This is going to be a lot of fun. And it was kind of funny too, because as we were discussing this, when this all came together, I called Lynn and I told her, I said, listen, remember that day, in the gym when you came up and introduced yourself to me, and you're like, hi, I'm Lynn. And it was like, hi. And we just started talking. And the thing is, we knew each other from the gym as like at passing. Like I'd get there and I was just getting there as she was just finishing up her workout. And I was just getting to the gym to start mine. So it's just like two ships in the night, just passing. And it was, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Then just bye, or just a little small talk here and there. For whatever reason that day, she decided, she's also, with all of her numerous initials, she is a nurse, a registered nurse. And she saw me doing my hour and a half worth of stretching just before I could even do anything in the gym. And she, after introduced herself, she's like, what's going on, man? She goes, I'm a nurse. I see you doing all this stuff just so you can move. And then I was like, well, she opened this door. So I started telling her about all my numerous surgeries. So as a nurse, she's like, oh my God. And we're back and forth on that. And next thing you know, we started talking about My Fight or War. And next thing you know, you could just see the switch go off. And unfortunately found out that she lost her brother because of alcohol. And so I told her about, social media. I told her about My Fight or War and what we were doing. And I think by the time I didn't even finish talking about it. And she goes, she's writing down, she had her phone out. She's like, I'm in. And she joined, became part of our family. And within the next few days of conversation about what was going on, and then she's seeing the post and she's seeing the videos and seeing all this. And I was like, listen, man, I can't remember how it came up, but basically I need so much help with organization and the busier things we're getting as far as the show and just branching out. And I think I remember telling her I need help with an admin to come in and help me with organization and everything. And she said yes. So, and I remember telling her, I said, you know what? This is everything that it entails. And I said, but I tell you what, it's going to get to the point where you're going to be scheduling shows. You're going to be scheduling live or speaking engagements. And it's going to be scheduling flights to going out of town to being guests on other shows in other states and other countries. And she's kind of looking at me and I go, well, that's what I want. That's what I'm shooting for. And here a couple of weeks ago, well, a month ago or so, we're sitting there and I call her. I said, you know how, and up until then, I mean, every day she sends me a list of basically, let's see, you've got a doctor appointment at this time. And she, takes the job as admin and just, best friend, a great person, very serious. And she does too, because, I mean, I am so just filled with all this clutter in a positive way. But it's like, you've got this appointment at this time. You got an appointment 2 hours later. You've got another one tomorrow. You got this appointment. You got a show on this day at 6:00. You got another show on Wednesday. You're a guest on this show. I mean, she's got it all bam, 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 bam. And all of a sudden I called her. I said, you know how when we first started talking about the responsibilities and stuff that I'm going to need help with, and I started talking about how we're going to make this, my vision is to be going out of state, to doing all these things. And I said, well, we need to make arrangements for Connecticut to be on a show. And it was just like, all right, here it goes. It's happening. And now with the things that I've been talking about as far as what my goals are and what I want to do as far as pursuing this here, and to hopefully one day to be my full-time job would be a dream come true. And I am not going to stop. And, if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be from lack of trying. And if that means annoying the shit out of you people every single time, every chance I get, I'm going to do it in the most respectful way I can. And it's out of love. It's with love. And so watch me. But all right, folks. Thank you again. And Lynn, thank you. And there's, you know what, that's going to be the staple. You know how you had, trying to think some of the different things, like trying to think like with Johnny Carson, all that with Doc Severinsen. And we're way back, folks. So some of you are not that old, but whatever certain catch line or whatever it may be. So now that'll be for ending shows when OG's in the house, when she's working the board or working the comments and questions, you'll see this hand. That and that voice. So now you'll know. So
Good night.
thank you guys. I appreciate you. I love you very much. And I appreciate you being part of this amazing family. And this is just the beginning. And we will go from there. We will be definitely going live tomorrow as well, as far as updating on different things, as far as upcoming events. So until then, I love you guys. Have a great night, and we will talk soon. And as always, man, keep fighting that good fight. I love you. Go ahead, OG. Give him that hand one more time. Give that hand. There you go. It's like what was that on Adam's Family? Thing.
Yeah.
There's Thing. That's my thing. There you go. We'll see you guys.